themselves. We'll start with Steve.
Stephen Pasamato.
Tom Welch.
Fidelis Onwubuike.
Diane Trapasso.
Marianne Thorpe.
Liz Banks.
Josh Cole.
Okay, tonight's agenda is approval of the minutes of February 25th, 2026 and March 4th, 2026. At 6:35, we have a public hearing for a special permit, 21 Long Avenue, for Stanley and Catherine Iwaniki.
Iwaniki, yeah.
Iwaniki,
Good enough.
okay. 6:50 PM, we have the continuation of the public hearing of the administrative appeal for 20 Ponton Street. Town planner update, old and new business, and adjournment. So we will start with the approval of the minutes of February 25th, 2026. And just remember that even though you weren't at a meeting, from now on, you can still approve the minutes as long as you've read them. So do I have a motion or any corrections or anything for the February 25th, 2026 minutes? Do I have an approval?
Yes, I have a motion to
I'll second that.
accept the minutes.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, good. And now the minutes of March 4th, 2026. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
A second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, that's good. All right. Okay, we have a couple of minutes before we can open up the public hearing. So with that, town planner update. Jean?
None. Short and sweet.
Okay. Do we have?
Kill time. I can give you reminders. The town elections are April 13th. Don't forget to show up at the polls and vote. Town meeting is April 27th. Don't forget to show up at Tantasco High School at 7 p.m. There's an annual town meeting, and the special town meeting will follow. Patriots' Day is the 20th, so town offices will be closed on Monday.
Okay, all right. Okay, do we have any old or new business? Let's see, we have upcoming meetings, April 20,
Janae's pulling it up.
okay.
April 15th.
Okay. Do we have anything as of,
As of right now, we do not.
okay,
I expect that you'll have an application for the library soon, but I'm not sure that it will be filed on time to have for the April 15th meeting.
okay.
I think they've already missed the deadline, so that may be for May. And that's
Okay.
for the,
What's the,
May 20th.
okay. Can you say like,
What it is? Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's the accessibility improvements off the rear of the library. So in addition to the ramp and the stairway, they would like to do a deck for outdoor programming and
okay.
activities.
okay, they talked about that a while ago.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
There were actually funds appropriated at last year's annual town meeting.
Yeah, I
But the
remember
funds,
that. Yeah, I
the
remember
funds
that.
weren't sufficient, the bids came in higher. So there's another article on this year's annual town meeting to supplement those funds. So they'd like to do the permitting to be prepared. In the event those funds are approved, they can go back out to bid and hopefully build it this season.
Okay,
So they don't have an accessible space for outdoor activities. They do a lot of the children's programming outside in the summer and spring months, so.
okay. Right, sounds good. Okay, with that, we can open up the public hearing for 21 Long Avenue. Fidelis, could you read the legal notice for, do you have it? I have it.
I have one if he needs one.
In accordance with the provisions of MGL, Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 11, the Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, March 18th, 2026 at 6:35 p.m. at the Center Office Building located at 301 Main Street, Stourbridge, MA 01566, and or by virtual means if circumstances warrant, in accordance with applicable law, on the application of Stanley and Catherine
Iwaniki?
Awaniki. The applicant is requesting a special permit pursuant to Article 18, Section 300-18.2, and a finding pursuant to Article 15, Section 300-15.2A of the zoning bylaw to allow the raise and rebuild of a single-family home with an increase in coverage from 11% to 19% on the property located at 21 Long Avenue in accordance with the plans and application submitted. The proposed request can be viewed at the town website, or arrangements can be made to view the application packet by contacting the Stourbridge Planning Department. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on this proposal should appear at the time and place designated. Signed, Diane Trapasso, Chair, Zoning Board of Appeals.
Okay, so would you like to tell us what you're...
Sure. What I'm planning on doing, this is the new plan on 21 Long Avenue. We're planning on raising a 500 square foot building and building a roughly about an 800 square foot single family home. We went through the Conservation Commission and were approved for this plan. Basically, it's 22 feet wide by 36 feet long, and we're up to the 30 foot from the road as far as the code, but we're actually 2 feet. The existing now is 22 feet, so I just wanted to keep it at 22 feet, so we're a little off on the side. But other than that, that's basically it. It's a deck in the back, yep.
The wraparound deck?
No, it's just in the back. And then the side entrance is there on the side.
Okay.
Okay, oh, okay. It went out to staff. There were no major concerns from staff, and like you said, Conservation already approved. DPW, you have, like, the location of the e-pump, you are...
Yeah, we have, according to my engineer and Durkee, no, what's the, can't think who did the actual sewer system there.
Tie and bond.
Tie and bond. It shows where the sewer line comes from the pump out to the, I think it might show it on this plan, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, right there, the bottom right where the circle is, and then the line, according to Tie and Bond, comes right out to the street there,
Okay,
straight out,
okay.
according to
Right,
Tie and Bond.
right. And plus, if there's any damage during
Right,
construction, you know that.
certainly,
okay.
yep. Mhm.
Okay. Fire just has its basic codes that you have to...
Smoke detectors and yeah,
Yep,
and,
okay.
the other one there.
Other than
Natural
that,
gas.
there, like I said, there are no major concerns. So with that, I will have, Josh, questions from the board? Josh, we'll start with you.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Liz?
Yeah, I just, the original footprint, is it the dotted line that is going around?
This is the original footprint right here. I had the little small 8x8 deck in the back and 22 by...
Right, but
I'm sorry.
comparing it
Yeah,
The
we-
other one I'm posed on, is
Right.
it, there's a dotted line that goes, is that it?
Around it,
Yeah.
that is the drainage, drip strip.
so
That's a
it's
drip
not the
strip that goes
original?
around the side, yeah.
So is the new house going with on the same footprint as the old?
Pretty much 22-foot wide, but it's coming out farther to the 30-foot to make it 36, 22 by 36.
Is it going closer to the road?
Correct. If it's 30 feet, the front of the house is 30 feet from the road, which I'm guessing is the
Okay.
code for what it is.
Okay. That was my question.
Mary Ann?
No, I have no questions.
Dallas?
No questions.
Steve? No questions? Okay, anybody from the audience have any questions on this? I don't know. Nobody's here for this? Okay. Okay. With that, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. So now we need, I will need a motion to find and then a motion to grant the special permit. So do I have a motion to find?
Let's see.
Liz? No? I can make the motion and then we can.
I can try it, and if I make a mistake, you just correct me. Okay. I make a motion to find pursuant to Article 15, Section 300-15.2 of the zoning bylaws, that the proposal by the applicant, Stanley and Catherine Iwanicki, now their address, at 21 Long Avenue, to demolish an existing single-family home and construct a new single-family home and deck. Will not be more detrimental to the neighborhood, and then the existing non-conforming use, because it's consistent with the other structures and homes in the neighborhood. It's not expanding the footprint. And I believe that's
I
it.
think the only thing I would add to that now it's really gonna, the home will be brought up to code to be livable in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's
Yes.
gonna be brand new, so yeah, everything should be, yeah.
The home was too
That's-
small, right.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. Now I need, there's one more motion.
Sure, go right ahead.
Now I need a motion to grant. Anybody want to make the? Okay.
I make a motion to grant a special permit to pursuant to bylaw article number 18, section 300-18.2 for Stanley and Catherine Iwanicki for the property located at 21 Long Avenue to demolish the existing, what's that word for the,
President?
Raise.
no, but it's not, the house isn't up to code, it's not non-conforming? Non-conforming?
Well, it's non-conforming lot, but it's
It's a
not.
non-conforming building, too.
It's non-conforming structure.
Structure.
Not-
yeah.
Okay. To remove, demolish the non-conforming structure and rebuild a new home as shown on the plans and documents submitted with all other necessary permits.
I-
Is that good?
The only thing I would add with that, it would be with the following conditions.
Other conditions.
Yeah, there are conditions. Should I?
You
want
can
to read
add
them
Number 1 through 7, as shown on my report,
on the report?
which has been provided to Mr. Iwanicki as well.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you. Now the fun begins. Have a
Just
good
need
day.
to.
Okay, you too.
Good night. You're welcome,
Night.
Stanley.
Yes, it will be, hopefully. We'll enjoy it.
We just have to start the go-to meeting so town council can get on.
Right, well, we still have
A few minutes.
a few minutes to.
Oh, he's on. Here he is. Hi, Jonathan, can you hear us? No. Oh. Hi, Jonathan.
Jonathan?
Can you hear us?
I'm working on it, hold on a second.
Oh, we can hear you. We hear you.
That's good, hold on.
Well, we can't see you now.
You know, no, don't have me.
We see you now.
Well, we see 4 of you now.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. You're a little bit distant, probably because you have one mic.
no, you can't see us, all right?
Yeah, but no, we can see us.
Okay.
Can you still see us, Jonathan?
Just barely.
Oh, you don't have a microphone. Jonathan, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Must be the mic.
Can you see us?
I cannot for some reason.
That's on our end, so let us see if we can figure it out.
This is on,
Oh,
don't know.
it's on the cable side.
yeah.
Want to go knock on the door with Steve? Give us a minute, Jonathan. We'll see if we can get it fixed. We're not sure if we can. We might
That's
just,
fine.
we might just see 4 of you.
That's fine. I think we could do that.
Okay. No. All right, it is what it is. This is,
Okay.
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 We have 1 more minute.
1 minute.
$6.50.
Okay, this is the continuation of the public hearing for the administrative appeal for 20 Ponton Street. And virtually, we have town council, Jonathan Eichman is available. And is this, Mr. Truitt, you're recording this meeting, right? Okay.
No, I take it.
You're not recording? Okay, okay, okay. So, first of all, I think what we'll do, we'll have the applicant present your case, so you want to come up to the...
Diane, did you, I'm sorry, did you want to lay out your ground rules for the?
Yeah, I just want to before we get started, is I just want to say that tonight, this board is here only concerning zoning issues. We realize that there may be some other related issues, but this hearing is about a request to enforce the zoning bylaw of the town. And that is the only issue the zoning board of appeals has jurisdiction over. Then we will have, like I said, we'll have the applicant speak first, and then we'll have our building inspector speak, and then the business owner will speak, and then the board will ask questions. Members of the public can ask questions, and then the board will discuss on what we're going to do. Is that basically, Jean, do you have anything you want?
Yes, that's it. And we could only arrange for the 2 tables with the 2 microphones because it's a smaller meeting. So I would say when Attorney Karen and Ms. McCleary are finished, then I would ask that they move from that table and give the Truaxes the opportunity to sit at that table
Okay, and is
with the
Bill gonna
microphone.
speak from
And
here?
Bill will speak from
Okay.
here. So we're cozy tonight, but we'll make it
Okay,
work.
We'll make it, it will work.
So-
Okay, all right. So with that, we're ready to proceed.
All right, good evening all. My name is Spencer Karen. I'm an attorney with Peterson and Ryan in Shrewsbury, Mass., and I represent petitioner Ms. Patricia McCleary. Just very briefly before we begin, all of these images are on the thumb drive that I've given Jean, but I've made copies of the 2 photographs that are not already exhibited to the appeals material. If you wouldn't mind just passing out these. Sure. One of each now. Thank you.
Are they the same or different?
One of each. Take one and pass it down.
Take one down and pass it around like in school, right? They're the same. They're just
Wait, is this?
crooked.
I think there's
same.
plenty.
And there we are.
There's just 2, correct?
There's just 2, yep. Those are just 2 additional photographs that are not in the exhibited
Okay.
material. Yeah, some of them are. I try to make them all portrait.
Okay. Attorney Karen, when you're ready to go through the photos, let us know. We can put them larger on the screen.
Sure. I mean, they're in chronological order. Actually, could we begin by just going through them really quickly so everybody has an idea of them first? Thank you. And some may need to be rotated if it's not too much trouble, but it's not the end of the world. So this is the subject property. They're all dated at or around. Whether or not Ponton Street currently looks exactly like this is a little bit beside the point. The main thrust of the appeal is that, with respect, I believe the owners of 20 Ponton are under a belief that the town is essentially sanctioning continued extensive commercial use. And one of the main goals tonight, hopefully, is to make it clear that what you're seeing from about a year ago, this is what this road and what the subject property will look like if it is not unequivocally stated that operating a contractor's yard, a loading zone, and a dispatch zone full of commercial stuffs is incontrovertibly not sanctioned by the town's bylaws. You can quickly, please, if you wouldn't mind. So again, chronological, that is a non-owner and resident, does not live in any of the homes nearby on top of a commercial van owned by Guaranteed Building Maintenance, the DBA of Mr. Truax. Similar thing, just 2 months ago, an individual doesn't reside standing on top of a GBM vehicle. November of 2025, again, a non-resident of 20 Ponton, and we'll get to the storage container issue later, but that is an unlawful wheeled metal storage container that goes up and down into which commercial things are loaded. ostensibly to be brought to work sites throughout central Massachusetts. Again, here's a storage container that Mr. LePage has explicit authority to be inspecting to make sure that the things inside of it are lawful. And here we have, again, a non-resident unloading commercial stuffs out of said storage container and into a guaranteed building maintenance van, again, ostensibly to be sent to a work site. Here is,
And this is my property here.
yes, so where that white fence is demarcates the, as described by the deed, 17 Plimpton, my client's yard. Again, 2 months ago this year, non-resident of any of the subject properties, doing some work in the van, which I'm sure will be sent off to a work site soon. So, similar, if there was any question as to what are in the storage container, which is, again, to my knowledge, not permitted, not properly placed, but it's not filled with furniture for the house, it's filled with commercial materials. And then lastly, just this month, a guaranteed building maintenance truck hitched to the aforementioned wheeled storage container off ostensibly to a work site. So, I mean, in a nutshell, that's kind of, and this is a snapshot. I assure you I have many more photographs to this effect. To put it simply, and I realize I've obnoxiously put quite a lot of materials before this body, but the two moving parts here is that the suburban residential provisions simply do not affirmatively countenance commercial happenings of this nature, not even by special permit. And to my knowledge, and I would really hope that this would have been brought to my attention by now, there has been no special permit sought for what you've just seen. Secondly, Chapter 240 deals with storage containers, and I respectfully acknowledge that Mr. LePage has raised some questions about jurisdiction, but at least subsections 2, 3, and 6 thereof explicitly give Mr. LePage the authority to inspect, permit, and grant applications for the maintenance of storage containers. Not to mention that I believe it's subsection 7 of Chapter 240 regarding storage containers says that the same cannot be filled with unlawful materials. So starting with premise 1 that commercial activities not allowed, then it cannot be chock full of commercial materials. It shall be placed such that it respects the frontage, smack dab in the middle of a private way and along the property line. I have my concerns about that, and it should not be an eyesore visible from the roadway. What you just saw, I mean, that's visible from a quarter mile down the roadway, let alone from Ponton Street. So it's, any one of these, if this was tucked in the backyard and filled with commercial things that were just for pet projects around the house, I really don't think my client would be complaining, and frankly, I don't know if I'd be taking this matter on. It's the obviousness, the blatantness with which these commercial happenings have taken place. This is not someone with a hobby. This is Mr. Truax's livelihood. And frankly, I hope that he does well. I hope that it's a successful business. But when you have a fleet of commercial vehicles, vans, storage containers, and you have employees or independent contractors, you rent a bona fide business lot, you park your vehicles there, you load them, you unload them, and you dispatch. It doesn't happen from a private way, a dead-end private way, mind you, that my client, at least some of the reason why she moved there is because it's a quiet, suburban residential private way. I mean, I won't belabor the point. I won't read all the sections, but Chapter 300-4.3, it's plain, the plain language. It does not countenance commercial. I mean, bed and breakfast maybe, recreating along trails and elder care, but not a commercial contracting business. And again, not even a special permit would allow it, but it hasn't been sought in any event. I've been in, productive conversation with various members of the town since, I want to say, spring or summer of last year. Various reasons for why no action's been taken have been proposed. I'm not going to focus too much on those because on the record, the December 30th, 2025 letter from Mr. LePage denying my request that he enforce certain provisions turned on two two issues, in his opinion. Number one, the use was an in-home office, which is countenanced by 300-4.3, and when he visited the property on various occasions, the use he saw was quote-unquote incidental and customary to lawful uses. With respect, I don't think any of the 9 photos, and again, those stand in for, I would say, probably 90 or 100 photos I have in my possession. It's just manifestly not an in-home office. Again, just for what it's worth, if this was a baked goods business run out of the kitchen, number one, I don't know how Ms. McCleary would know about it, and frankly, I wouldn't take a case on that was my neighbors baking cupcakes and selling them down the road. And second, assuming for the sake of argument that on Mr. LePage's visits, nothing was happening, unlawful use is unlawful use no matter how sporadic it is. I don't know if I would have been able to get 9 photos with material things laid out across the middle of the road being loaded by members who don't live at 20 if it was just kind of an accident. Or else we would have had very good luck catching 9 one-off instances like that. In the past, there's been arguments put forward by Mr. LePage in the town that somehow this use was grandfathered in. I took that very seriously. This is my reputation here. I made public records requests. If this use had been blessed under a different iteration of these bylaws and it's grandfathered in, I would have taken that in stride and stood down. To date, I've gotten nothing, no materials to suggest this is a grandfathered use. I got about 20-something page PDF assemblage of business application permits, which I respectfully contend are beside the point. Seeking a business application does not somehow automatically bless the business use at the premises. I could seek a business application, for instance, to have one vehicle that I drive elders to recreation opportunities, and 4 months later, I have 55 vehicles and a bunch of independent contractors driving and dispatching elders around, and certainly seeking an application in, say, 2003, as Mr. Truax, that's the first record we have, the town gave me. 2026, we have to analyze whether the business use, assuming that business application list has anything to do with the lawful use at the property, whether the use has extended past whatever was sought. I'll also say, for what it's worth, the applications are all improperly or incorrectly and not fully filled out. Mr. Truax omitted the section of the bylaws that would bless whatever business use he was seeking, and a lot of them lack signatures from Mr. LePage's predecessors and other members of the town authoritative bodies. And then one issue that's interesting in theory, I don't think it does anything to hurt our position here, but Ponton Street is a public way, meaning the town of Sturbridge has not accepted it as one of the roads that it, for instance, must plow as a matter of responsibility. It does plow in the winter, I'll just say that. But the fact that Ponton Street is private, every resident in Sturbridge's home and parcel is a private parcel, and this body and Mr. LePage have jurisdiction to enforce the zoning bylaws. With all due respect, I do not mean to be flippant here. On the theory that a private way is outside of this town's jurisdiction, Ms. McCleary could set a shooting range up, a for-profit shooting range down the middle of Ponton, and this town, on that theory, would have its hands tied. We can't do anything about the shooting range because it's on a private way. With respect, I vehemently oppose the notion that the private nature of the road has anything to do with this analysis here. Mr. Truax is making use of an abutting private way, which, by the way, the members of the town and Ms. McCleary have, by law, easement rights to ingress and egress up this private way. And there's a separate, and I'm not bringing it up here, but there is a separate civil action to that effect. So, and I see the town council's on, and perhaps he's weighed in on this, but I really just think the notion that the private way is a no-go zone and a lawless area is unsupported, and I've heard no support for it except just the conclusory remark. I think that about does it. I'm happy to field questions, and I'd like to let Ms. McCleary speak to the extent we have time, but the materials are before you. Many exhibits there too, including emails and public records requests and the like. So thank you very much for your time.
Okay. I think now we'll have the building inspector, Mr. LePage, speak.
So as Mr. Karen was saying, we were going back and forth, by email about his client's concerns. The digging I did showed that Mr. Truax was being licensed by from the town, predating, I think, 2000. The town clerk thinks it predated that, but they didn't have physical records of it. I know the previous building official did a little digging into it and considered it a grandfathered use because he was there so long, which is why I kept telling Mr. Karen, based on what I had in front of me, it was considered a grandfathered use. I'm just going through my notes here, sorry. So, after going back and forth with Mr. Karen, he, back in December of 25, sent me an email asking me to accept his email as a formal request to investigate, a complaint by him and his client about a storage container and dump trailers being stored on the property. So I went and I drove by various times between December 24th and January 5th. I saw no signs of any commercial construction activity going on whenever I went there. I went various times throughout the day. So I sent a letter to Mr. Truax, reminding him that the use that he's licensed for is a home office use. And I also included in that what was allowed and what wasn't. After that, Mr. Karen again sent me an email pertaining to a storage container that was on the property. So I went back up there. There was a metal storage container on site, which was in the road in front of Mr. Truax's property, which is in violation of local bylaw, chapter 240. In regards to the placement and the use of the container. I sent Mr. Truax a letter directing him to remove the container within 30 days or move it to a different spot on the property that would meet the bylaw requirements. On January 20th, I received a email from the homeowner saying that the storage container was removed. It's off-site, it's gone. I went up there to verify on January 21st, and the storage container was gone. Between that time and up till today, I've gone by the property whenever I'm in the area and still have not seen any activity supporting a construction company being run out of there. I did receive pictures. Who knows when they were taking? Like I said, this goes back 25 years plus. But from what I saw when I went there, there was no evidence of anything going on. That's all I have.
Mr. Truax, would you like to?
Yes, yeah.
Can I ask him a question real quick as to what he saw?
Well, I think we're going to hear all the presentation, and then we'll ask questions after.
Yeah. I just want to see a map of.
You have to use, you have to sit at the table.
Hey,
apologize.
No, that's okay. Please take your time. If you want to sit with him, you can.
No, we're good, we're good. I want to apologize for taking up the town's time tonight, folks. I moved to Sturbridge in February of 1995 after growing up in the town of Holland. I was the father of twin boys, special needs, and I came from nothing, and it was very important for me to put a roof over my head and try to do better for my children than I had. I approached the town legally in 1998 and obtained a business license, guaranteed building maintenance. At the time, it was an LLC. Every year, I went down, or in the mail rather, I would receive notification to renew my business license. And I don't have a college degree. You know, I busted my ass my whole life, excuse my French. You know, over the years, I've had 3 or 5 back surgeries, 2 fusions, 3 herniations. I was on a roof every day. Nobody ever gave me anything. I've been nothing more than kind to everybody in my neighborhood over the years. The town certainly knows, no offense to Bill, everybody in this town certainly has known me. I've always had nice trucks, nice equipment. I've taken care of it. I've donated my services to the town. I put luncheons on for the police and fire department. I'm very proud of what I've done in this town and how I represent myself and the way I keep my property. I understand that the pictures that the plaintiff are showing you were in the last year and a half, and you can see I came down with COVID, pneumonia, and the flu in March of 24, and I lost consciousness, and I was intubated, and I woke up 13 days later in a coma. And living next door to this woman is nothing but hell every single day of my life. Keep in mind, folks, it's a private way. I find out now she's got me in court for a separate court in Superior Court for planting a flower on her property for my mother, who's 87, who I took in. It's just gotten out of hand with this woman. She's literally filming my guys going up and down my driveway. Keep in mind, folks, I used to have 7 trailers in my yard. When I bought my home, it was a dirt road up to a mountain of hill. That hill from Newton Place behind me, that mountain came all the way to my front door. I dug out that entire area. Mike Partlow and I, my best friend from high school, we dug a trench 8 feet deep from my mailbox all the way up the length of that road, all the way around my property and down to the far end of my backyard. 8 feet deep with stone and pipe and stone and pipe. And then I spent $20,000 to pave that area after digging out the front yard because it was unusable. I put over $500,000 into this property. It gets better. Her son lives across the street from her. So she certainly knew what she was buying when she moved in 3 years, or however long she's made my life living hell. She goes on her rooftop, folks, and takes pictures of us. Keep in mind, today I have 1 trailer. I have 1 van. I used to do over $1 million a year, legitimately, legally. And it's not easy to be a legitimate businessman today. But I'm very proud of what I bring to the table and how I represent myself and how I treat people. And I always wanted to treat people the way I wanted to be treated. And I got to tell you, most importantly, I've never had to push my cart down another aisle because I did anybody wrong in my life. This woman's been a living hell. She knew what she was buying when she moved in next door. I put the roof on her son's house. She knew what she was buying. The problem is, the woman I lived with for 15 years was put out of my house by the judge because she was crazy. Well, she would be visiting her son's house, and the girl that was put out of my house was the caretaker for the elderly neighbor, Trudy. It was like a mother to me, who I did everything for that woman. Long story short, she bought the house for cash and then accused me of trespassing on her property, and I've never even been on her property since the onset of this nightmare. There's other cases. She's already cost me $25,000. I'll be damned if she's going to take my livelihood after being in business up there for 30 years and keeping my property very, very clean, offering my services to my neighbors. I just can't believe that I'm here tonight for this kind of malarkey. Like I said, the town certainly is known. I've worked for every building inspector in this town over the years. And if my forms weren't filled out properly, that should have been somebody at the town hall correcting it. But I can tell you what, the town always got their money. And every year, now I have to update my tools and equipment to increase my tax liability. I'm sorry I feel a little heated and I'm getting upset, but this is just crazy. Like I said, it's been 30 years, folks, and I'm at the end You know what I'm saying? I'm doing what I can do. I took my mother in. All I want to do is be left alone. I don't need somebody running up and down my driveway with a camera, taking pictures, on a roof, taking pictures of me. Mr. LePage asked me to remove the storage container, it's gone. But the year prior, I have an email that the container was allowable. How is it allowable, now not allowable? Because of this thing. I've had it up to here with her. And I please, side with me. I don't have many more years left. I'm not healthy. I have 2 employees. One doesn't drive and one does. I have 1 van. My dump trailers are parked down at Sturbridge Auto Body. I donated my services there after the tornado. Mark's a very good friend of mine. I put the roof on there. I put the siding on there. I've done everything for so many people in this town. And to be, this woman's relentless. You would not want her as your neighbor, folks. That's all I'm saying. It's just gotten out of hand, and she needs to be stopped. I'm sorry I'm heated, but that's from my heart. She shouldn't be able to move into town and pretend she owns from my house all the way down to Big Bunny, for Christ's sakes. If you go to my house now, it doesn't look anything like these pictures. But keep in mind, I ran a legitimate business, and nobody ever said anything to me. It's 7 trailers up there. Now I have 1, and she's still bitching. Pardon my French, I'm a little upset with her.
Okay, I think what we'll do now is, okay, we understand. I think we'll open it up for questions from the board, and then if there's questions in the audience. So how should we, so everybody can use the mic? I mean, how can we
There's a standalone mic there.
Right, if.
So maybe Mr. Karen and Ms. McCleary could come up in the front seat, and we could use a standalone mic. So
if you have to answer, a question, you can just get up and answer it. So I think first, like I said,
Trish, maybe you could come up here. Sure.
We'll have questions from the board, okay?
Just as long as
Their questions. Do we want to do the audience questions first? We want to do the audience questions first, and then we can have.
Do you want to do that first?
Let's do that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, the audience questions first.
If there's anybody here from the public that would like to speak, why don't they speak now? Anybody? No? Okay. All right, then it's just...
Trish had a question before.
You had a question, so, yes.
I was confused when you were saying when you would go by, there's no evidence that there's a business, a construction business. But when he got rid of the one immersed container, he replaced it with another, and that sits right there with his name on it, and a dumpster next to it, and vans next to that. What is it you didn't see? Did you just not see the guys coming and going?
Did you see the...
Because the mornings are usually the time they're all loading up and...
Can I show her this picture?
Yeah.
This is a picture you supplied. This is a storage container.
That's the immersed, yes.
Yeah.
That's one he had removed, and
Yeah.
it's now replaced with a different one, another one.
Another...
And it has his company
I
name
saw
on
a
it.
trailer there on wheels. That's not a storage container.
Wheeled containers are explicitly disallowed.
Well, I mean, his new container now that has doors, and then he's got the open, I call them dumpsters on wheels.
Wheeled containers are just per se unlawful.
But those are there.
Let alone when
The
they're
wheeled containers, the big red dumpsters I see parked every day on Main Street here.
I've seen a couple of them there, but there's usually one at the house. But always he's replaced the immersed container with another container that has doors that sits there now.
If it's a wheeled, registered trailer,
It's sitting there, but it's always there, and it has his company name on it. There's always something there that has the company name on it, whether it's pickup trucks, vans,
yeah, I mean,
containers.
I can't,
So,
that would be like me going and knocking on the neighbor's door because he works for Cam's Oil and saying, hey, you can't park this here.
okay, I was just confused.
That's all.
Because, no, they're always there. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
store.
I understand, yeah.
I
But
think you weren't seeing the hustle and bustle of the guys.
exactly,
Coming and going.
I've never seen
By
it once.
afternoon, that's, and then they come back later,
Yeah, which is why I made a point, like, I a lot of the time come in for 7 to 3, so I will purposely drive up through there. I've done it in my personal truck, and I've never seen anybody there. I go that way in the afternoon, nothing.
No.
I've never seen anything supporting these photos that you supplied of men on top of trailers or containers.
That's how they come and get their,
Yeah.
the ladders are kept on top of the storage unit.
So the only zoning issue that I had there, which is more a town bylaw thing, was the storage container. And I sent him a letter, and he immediately had it removed. Other than that, there's nothing there that supporting your claims. There's no evidence to me of anything I can do.
With respect, Mr. Truax just opined that, and I quote, "his guys are coming up and down." If this were a matter of what shape can the metal container be and where can it be placed, it's a non-issue, we shouldn't be here. You have someone saying that he has a business, 30 years, that is still actively being run, and his, quote, "guys are coming up and down." This is the issue. We have an admission of a business being run, but on occasion, if we don't see the zenith of the business activity, we kind of never catch the business, I suppose. Probably the last thing I'll say, unless I'm responding to a question, pre-existing use, I don't need to tell this body, turns on whether the use was lawful at the time, let's assume for the sake of argument, 1998. If the use in 98 was unlawful then, it can never be grandfathered because it was unlawful when we go back. I've asked for the iteration of the bylaws that in 1998 would bless operating and dispatching commercial contractors from a suburban residence. I have gotten 0 responsive documents to that end. What I'm hearing is some sort of equitable, come on, he's been doing it for a while. That is not what a grandfathered prior pre-existing unlawful use analysis is. This body knows that full well. If the town had an iteration of the bylaws that said, a suburban residence is for single-family homes, but also you can run a contracting business, we would have seen that iteration of the bylaws. They don't exist, and so that analysis is dead on arrival. It can never be a prior pre-existing lawful, but now unlawful, ergo grandfathered, if it's always been unlawful, and it has been. What is the point of a suburban residential zone if commercial uses, any one of them, can happen from the residence? That is a key point here tonight, notwithstanding all of the charity done around town.
I'd like to take a minute here, folks, if I could. Prior to the onset of the case at Superior Court in Worcester, this case here, she would go on Facebook and post, "Can you believe there's a trailer in the middle of 20 Ponton Street, which has been my residence, dead end, I dug it out, I paved it, I put it, can you believe Sturbridge Police won't do anything about this trailer in the middle of Ponton Street?" And I said, "Trish, why don't you worry about your parcel? If I have a trailer on my property, I'm paying registration fee, I'm paying excise tax fee, I'm paying tools and equipment fee, and it's on wheels. It's not a storage unit, it's a trailer to go to and from jobs. If I'm backing up and down the driveway, I don't know, 30 times a year now because I have limited business, with a dump trailer that's registered and insured, then that means, folks, you can't back up your boat on your property or your little utility trailer to go to the dump with your brush. You're not allowed to bring a trailer up and down your road. I can't drive up and down. She's out of bounds here completely. I've asked her time and time again, you worry about 17 Plimpton or whatever her address is. Don't even worry about 20 Ponton Street. It's not even in your equation. Just take it out of your mind. She is so, simply put, folks, there's nobody in the neighborhood that will speak to this woman. Nobody. That's how many friends she's made since she came here 3 years ago.
We don't
Not
have to.
that has
That's
anything to do with it.
irrelevant.
Let's not
But
get, that has nothing to do with
I'm getting
this.
back, I've run a contracting business out of that place for 30 years, and the whole town's known it. And I've done work for many people in this town and town officials. It's never been an issue. And now that I'm limited, I've been keeping 2 of my trailers down at Sturbridge Auto, but after I got rid of 5 when I was extremely busy. But again, I filled out a business certificate every year, and there's 23 other self-employed contractors in this town. If you put me out of business, you're putting everybody else out of business, because there's the people watching this public access channel, and the town's gonna have a lot of lawsuits on their hands. Because I play by the rules, folks.
Okay, let's just go on a little bit. Okay.
Open it up to
Yep,
ourselves.
yep.
Can I
Steve?
make one more comment?
Yep, yep.
So I think the construction business would be an accessory use to his residential use, even though it's not clearly written in the bylaws.
Just in brief comment to that, it's customary and incidental. I would, Mr. Truax's own example, I think, applies here. If one owns a boat that they use to recreate, perhaps storing the boat, hitching it once in a while, taking it out, using the boat, bringing it back. I would argue it is not customary and incidental to a single family to have a fleet of vehicles that, like clockwork, Monday through Friday, non-residents, semi-regular. You either own, Mr. Truax either owns a business that is successful and does work, or he doesn't. If he owns a business that is successful and does work, at least on a semi-regular basis, individuals that do not reside there are coming. It's not customary and incidental. If everybody in a cul-de-sac in an SR zone customarily and incidentally ran a 5 to 6 commercial vehicle fleeted business, we simply would not have suburban residential zones that anybody wanted to live in, and you couldn't square them with the bylaws. That's my response to that.
Just in a quick rebuttal to that, folks, I have one van and my 2 pickup trucks, okay? I'm a truck guy, so I have lifted monster trucks, one's for gas, one's for diesel. I don't have a fleet of trucks. Okay, I have one van and my 2 pickup trucks, which are showpieces that I keep on my property where I pay taxes. So it's really not a fleet of vehicles. I just chose to letter them because I'm proud of what I brought to what I've accomplished in life, if you will.
Okay.
I apologize.
Okay, I just want to
I just wanted to
have the
clarify
board
that.
have their questions. Steve, do you?
Yeah, I was just confused with, which is the storage container, that was in question in the pictures? There's 3 here, like, what are we talking about?
Well, at any given moment when things are moved around, any of the storage containers, I mean, frankly, part of the problem is we don't, quote-unquote, know what's in them because they have not, for whatever reason, they won't be inspected. They have not been inspected and apparently will not be inspected. They're full of guaranteed business maintenance materials. That in and of itself makes any of them unlawful. To the extent they're smack dab in the middle of a way, they're unlawfully placed.
Right, but just frankly, if it's a shed or something, whatever's in it isn't a zoning issue. It's where the shed is, right? So I'm just concerned with which trailer we're talking about, like where it's at.
Any trailer visible from the way, which has been all of them.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Thank you.
Steve, anything
If I
else
made
right
it,
now?
if I made a bylaw, the bylaw pertains to storage containers, which are these Connex type, I'm not sure the word she used, the Connex containers.
Correct.
Do you agree with that?
I think so. I mean, the definition of the storage containers in 240.
Yeah.
So we can.
She keeps going back to these wheeled trailers.
Right, which I have
They're
said.
not defined as storage containers.
It's a tool trailer, folks.
That's a trailer.
Yeah, that's,
Wheeled, I mean, I'm happy to be wrong on this. Are not wheeled vehicles explicitly not allowed as a storage container? Those are carved out.
if it's registered, I checked with the police department also, if it's registered, then no.
Registered and used for a business purpose that is, we are debating whether it's allowed.
I don't,
I mean, if I register a wheeled storage container and fill it with nuclear, with plutonium, that is now a use problem. Again, some of these things are technical. He has a business application license that does not go to use. He has a license plate on the vehicle. It does not go to use. If a storage container is chock full of commercial materials and a wheeled thing is being hitched, loaded by employees and contractors, and dispatched to work zones, that is an improper use in a suburban residential zone. It's not in-home office use, by definition, and it is not customary and incidental for members of an SR zone to invite independent contractors over, hop on top, unload out of a storage container, toss it in the red hitch thing, hitch it to a monster truck, and head out to work. This is not a painting van that one guy gets in with a commercial license plate and goes off to another site to paint. Respectfully, I'm not impugning this to anybody on the board, an opinion of how annoying this is really beside the point. It's either unlawful under the bylaws or it's not. It's not really a forum to weigh in on, let's weigh how good he's done the work in the community.
Can I interrupt you for a second? So, here's the thing, what you just said. So, what's the difference between a painter with having that and then him having that?
That's
so
an annoyance issue, it
it's okay to
sounds
have a
like.
painter, but it's not okay to have him. That's what you just said. So that's what
Yeah,
I'm
that sounds like an annoyance issue. It's one painter versus two kind of thing.
So that's
just-
where it's kind of.
I'm confused.
A painter getting in the car with a license plate on it and going off versus an independent contractor who does not live at the site, comes in the morning, opens a metal storage container in the middle of a way, takes siding and roofing out of it, loads it into another commercial vehicle, and is dispatched to the work zone. You don't see how that's different than the same exact commute in a different vehicle.
He's taking paintbrushes and whatever is the products inside. And I don't know, what's the bylaw between a storage container and a wheeled product? Do we know what that is? Are you allowed to have a wheeled, is that allowed at your residence?
It is. If you had a trailer on your property, I couldn't go bang on your door and say, hey, I want to see what's in that trailer.
So the Connex box is removed, correct?
Yes, sir.
So this is a null issue
Full
on a
compliance
Connex
with the
box,
town,
correct?
whatever they've asked, I've done.
There's a new,
With
so you
this
have,
company logo and everything.
does it have wheels?
Yes, and it's registered.
It
Yeah,
has wheels.
The
it
license
doesn't-
plate, there's a license plate
It's
on it.
registered. I can bring you the
If
registration
it's a
tomorrow.
Connex box that's placed down and cannot be moved, that's one thing.
I don't blatantly
If it's
ignore
something
the
on
law.
wheels, It's basically, it's movable. So if it's here, it's there, it's not here. It's not something that's stationary at the product. That's like, if you put a shed on here and had a shed here, that would be one thing, okay, with all the products inside. If you have a movable product, that's not in the bylaws. That's what we're here for, folks. It has to be within the realm of what we're doing. This is more of a civil thing with a lot of stuff going on back and forth. This seems like more of a neighborly dispute, in my eyes, than a zoning issue. That's just my 2 cents, but I'm just gonna tell you that now.
Right, can I just say something? I mean, we have in the city, I mean, in the town, of construction, companies that are working from their home, and their people are coming in, like getting their work orders in the morning, and they're coming in, getting what they need to go, and they're going out. I mean, I went to some site visits and saw this, and I was at your site, and I thought it was very professional, very clean, and nothing else. But, I mean, they're allowed in Sturbridge, these in residential areas that that they can do that. They just come in, and then they, at the end of the day, they come in, and that's it.
And for the record, as Danny was saying, we're trying to put them out of business, which we're not. We're just asking that it be carried out on a daily basis from a different location. I don't want to put them out of business.
But we have,
But what's going on is ridiculous where it's happening. And when I moved into the house, his stuff was in my yard, in the backyard. And he's yelling at me that my yard's bigger than his, he doesn't have the space. So that's not my problem, that's his problem. And I put up the fence, he refused to move the stuff. I had to move it. He refused the police asking him to move the stuff so the fence could go up. He said he doesn't have the room on his property because he's only got a quarter acre. And we're not asking him to shut down his business, we're just asking the town to abide by their own bylaws and enforce them, and ask him to do it from another place and more appropriate.
Any other questions?
Yes, I have some questions for,
Bill?
yes. So in 1998, right, he was granted a business license, and it was to that address?
I'm hard of hearing, sir. I can't hear you well.
I mean, the business license you were granted in 1998
Yes, sir.
had 20
Yeah, I've lived there since 95,
as the address.
at that address.
Okay,
The only address I've ever had is Sturbridge, sir.
okay. And you were given approval for home office.
Never, never.
I thought I heard something like
My
that.
mother has worked for me since the onset of my business.
I don't think you heard your question. heard your whole question. Your approval was for home office, right? It was a home.
Never. My mother's been in the books since the onset of the business, and she lived in a different residence. So it was never a home office. For 30 years, ma'am, I kept 7 trailers up there and tool trailers, and my vans and my trucks. It's never been a problem with anybody in my neighborhood, and that there's a woman sitting in the back here. I don't know her very well, but she's been there in my neighborhood at least as long as I have, and I've never been anything but nice. I've never been rude to her. We don't go speeding by her house.
All right.
So, was there a statement like that?
To answer your question, sir, all the copies of business licenses that I got back from the town clerk as far as they had records of, he had filled in himself carpentry, roofing, windows, siding, decks with the 20 Ponton Street address. And it's the same verbiage on everyone that was reissued.
Yeah, we have them.
Yeah, you should have copies of them.
Yep.
Okay, so
For whatever he came in way back and told whoever my predecessor was at that time what his intentions were, I have no way of knowing. All I have is what's in front of me and what's in front of you guys, that it was very clear on these applications, the scope of work that he does.
So based on the zoning, just, for the sake of everyone who is here and, also people who are possibly watching, what's the permitted use of the property?
I can't hear you.
He's in a suburban residential area.
So based on the zoning, what's permitted?
He's permitted to have a home office. Under that bylaw, he is, let's need my glasses for that. Permitted uses in suburban residential is a single-family attached dwelling, a detached dwelling, religious, education, or government, in-home professional office where home and residence of the profession are both located in the same building. This use shall be restricted to 25% of the floor area of the residence or 500 square feet, whichever is smaller. There shall be no more than 2 employees other than the professional allowed. It's clearly in the,
How many employees do you have?
2 employees.
How many?
and
2.
Two? Including
She
this,
sees them
that's 3.
the guys don't work every day, sir.
there's also one more, number 4, accessory use is customarily incidental to the main use of the said same premises. The way I interpret that is, it's an allowed use, it's an accessory use to his home office.
Okay, and my, I think, final question for now would be, we have some pictures from, detailing activities going on the property, and you went and you didn't see any of those activities.
No, never. I went there on several occasions.
Okay, so if you had gone and seen the activities
Then we'd be having a different conversation.
described, then what would that mean?
It depended on the scope of what I saw, physically saw. It would depend on what I saw.
Okay.
Do we have a current picture of what it looks like now?
No. I'm sure Trish does. I'm sure Trish does.
I was there today. I don't have my work phone with
This
me.
isn't current, because there's not,
No.
Right.
like, the only current picture I have would be this, which is, what date's this? March 9th.
I can tell you, I pulled up the road today. I pulled right up to his house. There's a trailer, a wheeled trailer, tow trailer.
The red one? This red one?
No,
Oh,
no,
no,
it's a
okay.
trailer.
It was white.
So it's probably this one that's right in this picture.
Black
in
and
the-
white.
That one that's in the middle?
I believe he got a new one, but that type of trailer. Oh, exactly. Yes, sir.
Pictures are on
It,
the side.
Right, yeah, I know.
He had that parked there, and he had a van parked there, and he had a small white SUV, small SUV parked there. That's all that was there. And that's all that's been there every time I've driven by.
So if he drives by and all the guys aren't there and all the, I understand what you're saying. It's a different story if he finds them all there. But if he happens to drive by, I've seen him go by, he goes by and he's gone. Then we'd be having a different conversation. Would you like me to call you?
If I went out there and his yard was full of construction stuff and I physically saw them loading stuff into trucks and all kinds of stuff going on, then yeah.
Like, as a board, I think we want to get this resolved so that this doesn't continue to happen because it's
Exactly.
using a lot of resources for the town. And we'd like to make it so the neighbors are, you know.
I'd like to be able to borrow a cup of sugar again. It would be nice, that's how neighbors used to do it, right?
Yeah, so let's try to come to a resolution on this instead of having to call back to the neighbor, call back to Bill and everything else. So we're not gonna continue this beyond tonight if we can make it happen. That's just my 2 cents.
Thank you.
I just have
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead if you have to say something.
Since I started with the town with these business licenses, we've made a lot of changes to them, through my recommendations, through Gene's, where it needs to be more clear, of what these people are actually applying to do. And when I do business licenses now, if I have any restrictions or comments, it's placed physically on the license, so there's no question. We stopped with the rubber stamping of, like zoning enforcement officer. They would be just going back to, to the previous building officials saying, there's a license on file, and they would just write on file, and I think that's what Mr. Karen was, talking about. We stopped all that.
Not to interrupt, and I don't know if anybody cares, but not on one of the applications is the section where the applicant is supposed to put the area of the zoning bylaw that blesses the use. That's not once filled out in any of this.
I can't answer for what was going on before I got here. I just know since I've gotten here, there's been changes to this.
I'm just hearing the general argument is kind of like, well, enough people do this.
No.
You can't point anywhere in the bylaws. There's not an explicit reference to a contracting business, not even by special permit, but it happens, and apparently some are annoyed that we're using resources, but it's almost like when you move to an SR zone, you're thinking neighbor's gonna have a couple cars, maybe a van, and maybe the businessman gets a commercial lot, rents a bona fide business address where the enterprise is carried out. And only after a year and a half of our resources have apparently gone from many storage containers as seen in the old pictures, as if that was done in goodwill and not through this deliberative and belabored process that we're using here. So I don't think anyone's suggested that, but just the intimation that by using the legal process to maybe get the neighborhood to look like a suburban residential zone is annoying, is disappointing. I frankly don't care how many people in the town are operating in potentially unlawful business from their residents. That's not really the analysis that we're interested in here, is how many people are doing something.
I have a question. So basically, your business is like, you have say a work order, and you have 2 people that come in that work for you. So in the mornings, they probably come in.
No, not every day. It used
Not
to
every
be.
day, but
Yes. Yes.
when they have
Like
work,
clockwork, yeah.
they come in, get the supplies they need, and they go off to the
Well,
job.
back in the day, I might have only had one guy come to the house to get a van.
Okay.
And I would meet my guys on the job site, you follow me?
Yep.
My dump trailers, again, that I pay to register and pay so much per 1,000 pounds to carry material to and from in the state of Massachusetts where they're registered, I'm not allowed to back up my driveway and put a bag of sand or buckets of anything in my wheeled trailer. I mean, this is ludicrous. This is going over and above being neighborly, just blatantly just jab the knife and jab the knife and jab the knife. And like the other gentleman said, Tom, I'd like to get some resolution here for the town and myself and my wife and my mother. And
Right,
This is
so-
terrible to live this way.
So let's have the board, if they have any other questions. Mary Ann?
I can assure you, you wouldn't want to live next to her, folks, and I'm not being rude.
Well, I have a neighbor who owns a business, and he has 2 trucks, and he does have something on wheels, and keeps it nice and neat, so I'm okay with that situation. I don't know what your situation's like, so, but I do see it. I do see that around, and I do see in, one of our bylaws, like you had already stated and you already talked about, that you can have a home office and you shall have no more than 2 employees.
Correct.
Right? So I feel like, that is being followed.
How do we know he only has 2 employees? 'Cause there's a
I
lot of people-
asked him that, and he answered the question. I don't know that. I'm just asking the question. I'm not taking anyone's side. That's not why we're here. So I'm just going over what I'm reading, one of the bylaws. So you don't have your storage containers there anymore that are not on wheels? You have one?
In 25, I believe in April, maybe?
Right now, right
No,
this?
Bill asked me to remove it. I removed it
Okay,
immediately.
okay. That's all I have for questions right now. Thank you.
Liz?
Yeah, I have a couple. Is there a way to put up on here the map with the property that's in question?
I have a topographical view from Google on my phone if you needed to see it.
Well, I think she's going to look for it. And while she's looking
I'm sure she
for
can
it,
pull it up right away from Google Earth.
all right, well, while she's doing that, you have a fence around it?
She put a fence up, which is good. It's nice, it's welcome.
That's your fence? It's your fence?
Because he just kept piling.
How long has that
stuff
been up, the fence?
in. I guess about a year and a half.
Okay.
But I couldn't get him to move his stuff out of my yard to get the fence up. He wouldn't move it. Police asked him to move it.
Okay.
Just one. The fence is yours, is the white stockade? Okay.
And as soon as I put it up, he started shingles, everything right up against it.
All right.
What are you trying to see on the map?
I just wanted to see the two properties. and how- Yeah, okay. So which one?
So that's him, and I'm across the street, number 17.
So.
And that's a private street?
That's a private, well, it's actually considered a paper road now, which I've learned in Superior Court.
It's a what?
It's called a paper road, I
Oh,
guess.
paper street? We know
And I
paper
spent 20
street.
grand to improve out of my pocket, but
Okay.
It's not a paper street, it's an extant road. Paper street is literally not a paper street, it is a road.
well, it's a
So
private
you're
one.
20,
Yes, private road.
and you're 17?
She's on Plimpton.
He's back.
I'm on Ponton, which intersects with Plimpton. If you come down my driveway,
You're
ma'am.
20, where's yours?
I'm up in the top right.
Okay.
No, to the top right.
Yeah,
That's
what I
That's
have.
Trish's property.
His
I'm on the other
property
side, right up in the
that
corner.
red line, but he comes across.
I'm number 20.
Okay.
In my yard.
All right, so are you?
And how wide is that street?
Number 20.
Yeah, there is.
She's 17.
That way. And where's the fence?
Right up, going up the left-hand side of the driveway, sir.
All the way down that property line.
That's why I've asked her to take 20 Ponton out of her
Right along there.
vocabulary.
I think it turns into a chain link right around where it says 179.
Right around there.
Yeah.
It goes from a solid down to a chain link.
I'm living in a,
Yeah.
and then I have chain link. and-
Sorry, you have to use the microphone.
Pardon? No, that's on your side. She's,
on my side is mine.
yeah, but she's got chain link. When she put the fence up, folks, she did like 100 feet. She had 2 obnoxious barking dogs. So the last 20 feet, she did chain link. So the dogs could sit there and bark at us all morning and all day long. That's how this whole thing started, when I put up a vinyl,
Okay.
a continuation of her fence for privacy to keep her dogs from barking. Then she took me to court. So it's been, that's what initiated this. But yeah, all of that Ponton Street, I paid at the very top, it was a mountain. I dug out the whole front yard, made it flat, and I did drainage all the way up the left, which would be the right side of 17 Plimpton, that whole length, all the way up and around to the top of my property where you see 188 feet at the top of the map. again, I don't remember how many thousands of dollars I've spent up there developing this property and correcting the drain issues for the DPW, because Greg Morse came up there years ago and thanked me for the improvements that I had made to that area after doing all the drainage and paving the road and digging up the front yard, because that was all runoff from Newton Place.
I think we're gonna with the zoning issues.
Okay.
Liz?
Yeah, and so, and it's been past practice by the town to allow the construction and carpentry and handyman businesses
Yes.
out of your homes. And I also have neighbors that have
Yeah,
businesses.
so it's not unusual
No,
to see
we have
that.
several. So, that's my,
Oh, I don't know what you see, I don't know, I'm just telling you that I see it.
I'm
I have-
done with my questions.
Josh?
Right. Except we didn't get paid.
Excuse me, if you have some,
Yeah, you gotta
Excuse me.
you gotta,
you have to use the
I
mic.
apologize, folks, I've never been to a meeting here.
That's okay. I think you just answered my question. I mean, for me, the biggest issue was the Connex box. Right,
But last year, it was allowable in an email that I have.
yeah, I mean, it might have been a replacement, it might have been a replacement,
Because the
but
only reason I say that, Mr. Cole, this is on a dead-end street. This isn't Route 131. We're up in the woods, and I'm at the dead end of a street. And if you were to go up Ponton Street prior to this onset of her nonsense, that whole embankment, I mulched and plowed for 30 years. So this whole thing is still going to be, after this whole thing dies, folks, just to give you a quick synopsis, I have to go after her for adverse possession and extinguish her rights. Because this property I've taken care of for 30 years. And for 30 years, now she comes in and says, well, I own it. Well, I had her lot surveyed, folks. Paid for the survey. She pulled the pins out. She says she didn't. I certainly didn't.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
getting
that's
off
another
track
story.
here,
I'm just
sir.
saying. I'm trying to comply with the rules and regulations
I
of the
think-
town.
And I've sat here this morning being called names by this guy, being told I do weird things.
We're not here
So
for that.
let's stick to
We're-
the zoning and you guys enforcing the bylaws of Sturbridge. That's all we're asking. Because this isn't a tiny little, your friendly neighbor gets an A van. This is a fleet of cars coming and going up and down Plimpton Street to Ponton Street. There's little kids, there's a bus stop at the end of the road. And Danny and his guys coming and going. And there's more than two, okay? And the subcontractors have their own. But Danny keeps all the stuff in his containers. It seems like that's where they load their
can't
trucks.
prevent-
Can I ask a question? Do we have the most recent application for business certificate? I have a 2003 copy. Do we have a newer one?
Yeah, there were newer ones in the packet.
In fact, there's one.
yeah, it is.
A lot of paperwork, so I was just trying to figure out where.
We don't have
I don't find it, I can see it.
You have 2023, Tom?
I got 2003.
January 2023.
Right here, Tom.
Yeah,
This one
that's the most
expires
recent.
2027.
127.
Yeah, this one's valid through 2027.
What packet did this come from? What was the
This
top
was with it.
page?
Is that the other page of it, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, this one was issued January 4th, 2023,
I
and
think I
expires in
found it.
27. It has the same verbiage, roofing, siding, windows.
So he's
Right here.
doing it properly
Okay.
from what the document shows.
2023 expires.
Okay.
Questions, I just wanted to see if
Okay,
we had it
yep.
updated.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions? The board?
Yeah, I think my concern, which obviously is why we're here, is, and which you answered, is what is approved and what is not an approved usage, because that's at the bottom of what the issue here is the activity for which he is using the property approved. If it is, it's very much cut and dry.
Right.
If not, then that's an issue.
Yeah, as it states in the bylaw, it's a accessory use to the home office, which allows up to 2 employees. So I'm just going by what's written in the bylaws. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm sorry. I'm not making this up as I go. I'm just going by what's in the bylaws. It's black and white, so.
Right, and we have a list of other businesses that run their construction business from their home, and I went by some of them, and one in particular was even had a bigger operation than yours, and they come and go, and that's what's allowed. It's
Depending on what zone they're into,
Well,
so.
right, but
Just for the record, number 4, accessory use is customarily incidental to the main use in the same premises. An in-home office that takes up 25% of the total floor area is not the main use of a single-family home. So hitching incidental to in-home office is not how those bylaws read.
And
The main use of the
Alex's
house.
home is it's a two-home. He turned it into a two-family home. Not a one-family home.
It's allowed.
It was never permitted. It's a two-family home.
Anyways, that's not why we're here
that's
tonight.
not why we're here.
I understand
We're
that.
here-
Get way off track.
Let's stick to the facts.
I think I think the board now needs to, is the board need more time? Does the board need more questions? Does the board feel that we can close the public hearing?
I think we're okay to close the public hearing knowing what we know, and.
I mean, you could open this up to a whole plethora of things.
All right,
if you want, right,
so, all right, first of all, then, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Second, okay, now, before we vote, is everybody comfortable on closing? We don't need any more information? Is that it? Yes. Okay, then all in favor of closing the public hearing? All right. All right, so now, we close the public hearing, we're not taking any more information, so now we need to make a decision. The decision, do we uphold the decision that the building inspector made, that the operation is a professional office for contracting business, is a lawful accessory use? Or do we deny, the public,
So you need a motion one way or the other.
one way or another, we need a motion.
Also with your findings of why you're finding, your rationale for what you're finding,
Right.
please.
So do we,
I guess maybe someone just start the conversation.
right,
Diane?
how,
I make a motion to approve the existing business. That we're
what,
saying.
so
No.
what?
Can I just
Yep.
rein you in for a
Yes.
second,
Right,
please?
yep,
So I guess your issues are, do you,
feel
so
that
you're
it's,
saying to approve the business, it's really not minor here. So it's either to find in favor of the appeal granted by Ms. McCleary, to the effect that the present use is not a permitted use, or to uphold the decision of the building inspector that the operation of a professional office for the contracting business is a lawful accessory use, and your reasoning for that finding. So maybe kind of discuss that, and then make a motion to one effect or the other.
okay, so first we
That
have to
helps.
decide, are we going to uphold with the building inspector?
We have to vote, we vote on that or talk?
Maybe
No,
talk
I think talk about it, and
it.
then why do we, why, why do we feel that it's to uphold?
Okay,
this?
so I feel this piece of paper here that we talked about earlier is still valid in my eyes.
one is it?
It does not expire
The building,
until
right,
the
building
2027.
certificate.
So, I mean, that's,
I mean, I feel that it's,
yes.
I mean, anybody else?
I
mean,
feel that he's filed these business certificates that the town currently requires. This is how they're listed. And I feel that the operations of the business are listed pretty distinctively in terms of roofing, siding, carpentry, windows. I believe that's what the business does, correct? I would assume, based on what we're provided with information here, they've given this information based on what the town required previously, so.
I mean, and I feel also that, I mean, there are other businesses, I mean, I feel that his business is just the same as these other businesses of construction from their home are in the same category as, I mean, as far as zoning, that he's good to go. I feel that, so.
It's not even what I feel, it's just what I'm looking at on a piece of paper.
I mean, it's,
Paperwork shows.
I mean, it's,
I think the only,
I mean, I
Right.
personally, he has not been hiding anything from what he's filed with the town, so.
right, I mean, and he's been doing it for.
Since
for
the
over
last century.
I mean, for over 25 years, and no one has, I mean, as far as the town and as far as zoning, I mean, he is. Which paper was that? Yes, this one, yeah.
I think it really boils down to one single question, whether the use is customary and accessory. That's a tough call, but that's, for me, what I have to decide on is like, is it customary and accessory use? But everything else is, kind of doesn't matter. It's just, is that, or, I guess there's one other component, is the use of is this sort of an extended use of a home office?
Madam Chair, may I make a suggestion?
Yes, please.
I think it would be beneficial to the board in reaching a decision here before you decide whether the use is allowed, is to make a finding to have the board agree as to what use is actually going on there now. And I'm talking about, what are the characteristics of the use? Are we talking about storage? Are we talking about dispatch? Are we talking about parking? Because that's all going to be important as the discussion is indicated as to whether this is truly accessory or whether it's a separate use. And that goes to the question of whether it's allowed under the zoning bylaws. So I think before you do anything, you've got some different evidence here about whether, on the one hand, as the applicant or the appellant has pointed out, she says there's quite a bit of use going on the street. The building inspector has not seen that use. I think it's important, at least for the board, to make a finding as to what use is there and being used on that property. And to the extent that they can't agree, or the board can't agree exactly what's going on now, then the next determination would be, well, if it's an appropriate use to have a home business here, it's appropriate to have an accessory business to a home occupation or a home business, a single-family home, what is the allowed extent of that use? I think you want to make that determination before you decide this.
Well, how,
Gene, can we get some guidance?
I mean, short of visiting and doing what Bill's been doing, I would have no means to make a decision of what the use is or not without just, he said, she said, I feel. So I don't know how we would come to a determination of what we feel the
right,
use
how
is.
do we, like,
That's just
what
my thought.
exactly is the use? I mean,
So Jonathan,
The use would be,
we have the permitted uses
Right.
here,
Right,
but
I
what
know
is
that,
actually
but-
the use, right?
So Jonathan, are you saying to enumerate what the board feels is appropriate, so?
Yes, I
storage of materials in a registered trailer, 1 to 2 employees picking up materials, typical home office uses during normal business hours. Is that what you're saying?
It is, in fact, I think that the letter in the board's folder, this is a letter that Bill LePage issued on, let's see, what date was it? I think it's November 15th. November 13th, this is a letter he issued to the owner of the property, Daniel Truax. And if you pull that letter out, you will see at the bottom, and Bill said this tonight, I think he's being consistent. He gives you a description of what he feels is appropriate for this type of use in this district.
But that's, yes, then. It goes over here.
It's at the bottom of the letter. Please note on page 1.
Yeah, it's right here.
This is the letter you rescinded.
Yeah.
Then he rescinded that letter, Jonathan.
Right.
I don't see why I brought it up.
Yeah, he rescinded that letter after.
I saw that on November 17th. No. Yeah, on the 17th.
On the 17th, yeah.
On the 17th, he rescinded it.
Yeah. He issued that and then rescinded it.
Right, so I thought it was November 17th letter. It doesn't read to me like a rescission, but if that's the interpretation, that's for the board.
I've included the business as allowable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on November 17th.
On November 17th, he rescinded it. Said upon further research and review of the records available, I have concluded the business is allowable.
And I based that on the town bylaws of the allowed uses.
And the finding.
In all the business certificates that I researched.
In finding that the other contractors were operating similar establishments
Yeah.
in town.
Which that,
No, you know what, look at
And that's November.
look at,
Yeah.
okay.
And then
Are we doing basically guidelines of what
the 13th and then the 17th.
we're asking for?
So that's, I mean,
That's the
That's not in the
17th.
bylaw, so are we making stipulations? That's what my question, you know what I mean?
that's something that the board could do.
This one?
Make stipulations to a
we can put
one,
conditions.
conditions, we can do conditions to 1.
2006.
And then you see.
That's 2005.
Come up with a list of
Are all of
conditions.
these businesses being run on a quarter acre lot?
I couldn't tell you, and the hearing is closed right now. So,
So let's come up with a list of conditions, I guess, and then we'll move forward from there, right? Does that work? Josh, do you have any conditions that you want to be put in this?
I think what Jonathan's saying is, what would be the allowed extent of the use, the operation that,
You mean like 2 vehicles, like, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Specific, what's allowed?
Yeah, what's allowed, okay.
what you,
And that's a finding, so we find that,
Jonathan, are you trying to say something? Oh, sorry. Jonathan, were you trying to provide clarification?
Yeah, and that's why I pointed that whether rescinded or not, that's essentially, at least initially, where he's kind of laying out what he thought were the characteristics or not the characteristics of an allowed use. So I think the board can do that tonight. In other words, to what extent is parking of vehicles, dispatching of employees, storage of equipment, to what extent is that part of an allowed use? And also you want to point out what is the allowed use. Are we talking about a home residence occupation, or are we talking about accessory to residential?
Personal use vehicles, though, they're lettered, correct?
Well, commercial plates, yeah,
So that's where it kind of gets,
if you letter your truck, you have to have a commercial plate.
Yeah, so my understanding of the nature of his business, from what I've heard tonight, is he has 2 employees
Right.
that he does dispatch Picks
My
up.
my employees only drive the one van. The trucks are
Right,
very
one
heavy.
vehicle, one van,
Correct.
that they will come and pick up
Is
materials.
it a lettered van?
Yes,
Thank you.
it's on my website. You can look at the vehicles.
But he does have a trailer, and it is registered.
How many trailers?
I have 4 trailers, but only one's on site, and they're all registered.
Right, one's on site,
One
though.
on
Now, when you say trailer, enclosed or open?
That's, one is an enclosed trailer, the other 3 are open. Which are right here at Sturbridge Auto Body on Main Street, big red
So those
trailer.
don't reside at your residence?
Pardon?
Those do not reside at your residence?
Well, I would be, I used to have 7 trailers there, sir, so if I wanted to bring a trailer home at night, so I had freight in it, like gonna be this Friday, I'm meeting a truck down the road to have loaded material in my dump trailer. The dump trailer's gonna come home with me to sit next door to the tool trailer, because you can't trust people. Today, my
All registered.
$10,000 worth of
But
material.
they're
gets sold.
registered. They're registered.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so far I've written down, and you guys can stop me.
Yep, go ahead.
2 employees,
Yeah.
not including him.
Yep.
1 lettered van, 1 enclosed trailer. He has 4 open trailers.
I'm only asking for one of the open trailers. to
One
get
open,
my-
so one
Along with my
open
tool
trailer,
trailer
one
on
open
site.
trailer on site, okay?
One open trailer on site.
Okay. Is there anything else that would be put, that we're missing? And then hours of operation?
Yeah.
But the problem is if someone comes over, I don't know, that's not a zoning thing, but if someone comes over after hours and hanging out, I don't know how that works, so.
If I could make a suggestion, I would add no storage of construction materials out in the open, in plain sight,
Keep it.
which is
keep
what
the
I,
site clean and
Yeah.
presentable at all times.
like if I have a landscaper that comes in, you know, for a business certificate, I tell them, you know, you can't have landscape stuff all over the place. It needs to be either in a fenced-in area out of view or something to that effect.
Ladders, 'cause you have a lot, guessing ladders is that's usually fixed to the truck, that's part of the property, right?
Yeah.
Well, I do have a question for the board, if I could. I know the meeting's over.
Because I needed to clarify what he has on site to help the board create conditions.
So my question to the board would be, now that I know that it's a private, I mean, she supposedly, it's a long story, but behind my tool trailer, I might keep cap shingles that are neatly stacked on my retaining wall that I built. Not out of view coming up the driveway, you can't see, all you see is my tool trailer. If there's, I don't have spaghetti lumber out there, you know what I'm saying? I take pride in my property, folks. I can assure you it doesn't look like that picture. That picture that you're seeing of the material all dismantled was during my medical setback when I wasn't able to get around real well. I can assure you, it looks like a church lot today, if you were to pull up there. Bill said he was there today. I used to take the backpack, I'll stop talking.
Yep.
When was this, is this a recent picture?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, this
All
one
right,
for
because
sure.
that looks normal, that would look.
Is there a tool trailer in that picture?
Yeah, oh yeah, but tow behind, yeah. There's a tow behind trailer in there.
There's no trailer?
Oh, there's a tow behind trailer in here.
To the right.
No. Yeah, no, the Connex box is there. So it's-
Oh, that's
old.
that's before the Connex box was removed.
So if that's removed out of there in my,
Well, I was up there a couple of weeks ago for a site visit, and I thought the place was very clean. I mean, he
Yeah.
just had like a
I
van
mean,
and.
the only reason I ask this, folks, because if there's one shingle out on my retaining wall, she's gonna be on the roof taking pictures.
But we're
and
not
bothering
getting
us.
into that. We're not here for that.
I'm just trying to,
We're
if we can
done.
put that in the guidelines.
We're done. We're done. We're done. So I think, yeah,
Liz has a question.
Are we putting a restriction on how many vehicles can be in his yard? Is that what,
I think
I don't
we can,
think,
I don't think you can do that.
we're not?
no,
Okay, because he was,
because I think they have to.
I think you should say that all trailers are registered.
yeah, licensed, insured, and all.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if he sells one, gets a new one,
Right, they have to be.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I have is business limited to 2 employees, registered trailers only. registered vehicles, I should say, registered vehicles and trailers only. No open storage of construction materials.
Right.
Or no visible storage.
Well, that's.
Do we have
I'm
anything
saying no
about-
visible storage.
No visible storage.
You want to clarify that to no visible storage?
Yeah, what do you mean
Because
when you
if
say not visible from where?
From the road,
From the public way, from the
Okay, but
private,
my
private
question
way.
is-
private way.
My question to you folks, I don't want to get in trouble, but if you go down Plimpton, Ponton goes up. So nothing's really visible other than the trailer that sticks up out of the ground or vehicles there. You're not going to see a couple bundles of shingles on the wall that I pay taxes on my property that say, you can't put a bale of hay there, you know what I'm saying? So I'm asking that those restrictions, if they're out of view, then they should be out of her vocabulary. I'm just trying to make it easier for you folks moving forward.
So there's something about noise.
We have nothing to do with noise though.
Yeah, we don't have a noise bylaw.
There's no,
Zoning only.
I get them calls all the time.
Yeah,
For the police, not
I
for
send
us.
everybody to the
Even
DEP or police if it's.
Even the police will tell you, they have no,
If you guys want.
2 employees, 1 van. That it.
what was the question?
Wheeled storage containers, they have that's expressly disallowed.
You mean like a Connex box?
Storage container with wheels is.
They're registered.
Trailer. They're registered.
Are you talking trailer or are you talking?
Not saying that, not a trailer, but something that has wheels but is nonetheless plunked there as a storage container is expressly.
So it'd be a Connex box because those have the rolling metal wheels?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, that will that can be disallowed. We can add that to the list.
Yeah.
So Connex.
Without, I would say without proper permitting, right? Because you can have a.
Correct.
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of requirements for it,
Yeah.
for a Connex box, yeah.
Well, Connex box, that's correct, right? That's correct.
Yeah,
definition?
I think everybody is on board with the Connex box
I'm just
verbiage.
going to put no storage.
Shipping container is what it was. It's like a-
Yeah, shipping container, that's a good way to word it.
Shipping container.
I'll put no storage containers without appropriate permits.
Or without appropriate registration? You can't
register them anyway.
Exactly, so you can't have it.
He's trying to say
They're allowed under the town bylaws, but there is restrictions on where you can place them.
Jonathan?
To what extent is loading and unloading of equipment and supplies at the property allowed?
What was the last part?
Loading and unloading.
Supplies.
Okay.
Supplies.
I think by the 2 employees on the property. That's what's taking place now.
Right.
So we're not allowing that?
No, allowed by the 2
Okay.
employees.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Only
is
allowed.
That would be the
allowed.
accessory use
Wow.
of that said
Yeah.
business.
Only allowed by the 2 employees.
Unloading.
And the property owner, of course.
Yeah.
By 2 employees.
Could I ask a question? So are you're never impeded when you pull out? Well, we closed it. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
I should have asked earlier.
okay.
It's okay.
Okay, so allowed loading and unloading of supplies by 2 employees plus owners of property. Correct? Property. It's not just him, it could be,
Could be up to 2 employees.
Something to that.
what, if his wife lives at the property and puts something in, is that going against what's allowed?
No, not unless she doesn't want to do it.
No.
All right, so I'm just making sure we have the verbiage correct on it. Anything else?
Well, I was going to ask a question, I forgot we were closed, so I just didn't know.
Amongst
Yeah,
ourselves.
so I wasn't sure if we needed to add anything. I'm not sure she has to ever pull out of that street or not. I know she's on the other side of the street, so I can't ask her that question now. So I guess
Her
we can't
driveway
add it. Is on the other side?
on the other
Okay,
side.
all right.
So, all right, so I think we have our key points. That'll get us to where we need to be.
I think Jean has it.
Got it.
Conditions.
The conditions. And are we allowing more than one dump trailer at the residence at a time?
I don't think you're limiting it.
Can't limit that.
So the way that I have it is that, so from what I'm hearing, the board wishes to uphold the decision of the building inspector that the operation of a professional office for the contracting business, that the operation of a professional office and contracting business is a lawful accessory use. However, subject to the following limitations. Business shall be subject to no more than 2 employees and the property owners. That shall include the operation of the office, as well as the loading and unloading of supplies and materials related to the business. Only registered trailers and work vehicles shall be allowed on the premises. No storage shall be allowed that is visible from the private way. No storage containers shall be permitted without appropriate permits. That's
Can
basically what
I
have.
ask a question? You were saying only 2 employees can be on the property at one time?
You said yes to employees.
Yes, but non-employees are allowed to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if there's another guy, he has to wait somewhere else?
Well,
Right,
yeah, he has 2 employees. If there's people visiting their house, that's different.
yeah, okay,
It's just pertaining.
okay.
I mean, I think if you try to,
I think what she's trying to say is you can't pull up with 5 guys in a truck and say, you guys wait down there while we do this.
No, but I'm asking, you're restricting it to 2 employees, but you said that's in the bylaw.
It's in the bylaw.
In the bylaw.
Which going by the bylaw.
Question, you said that you cannot see the enclosed, would you say, you cannot see it from the road?
storage.
Oh, yeah.
Outside storage of materials. You know, like
Okay.
loose, like if he has a stack of shingles, not visible from the private way, but it could be behind his building.
Okay, so as long as it's behind where it's not being seen on the.
Not
photo.
visible
Okay,
from,
gotcha,
yeah.
all right, I thought you were talking about the actual, like,
It'd be visible from
storage.
Ponton.
Oh, no.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Just Ponton, because
Loose
that's,
Right?
materials.
Just that Ponton Street?
it can't be visible from there, Ponton.
Ponton Street.
Well, my question would be, is it not visible from the intersection of Plimpton and Ponton Street, because it's up on the hill? If you're gonna drive all the way up to my driveway and then go,
No, yeah, that's
then I'm gonna be in violation, is my question, which I've
Oh,
never
it's
been
from-
in 30.
it's from
I'm
the
just trying to
street.
make that-
Are we asking him to put it,
No,
I'm not asking him,
No, we're not asking him, she's asking me.
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, we,
I'm good.
no, I think setting parameters where, like, because, again, how this is, how it's set up on the map, you can, if you're at a different vantage point, you could see that, and then we could be back here in a month. So maybe we
Okay.
should say exactly where you can, what point of the street you can see it at.
The mailbox.
From the, I would say
Let me
from
know
the,
what you want, what you're
Frontage
thinking.
of the,
I would say from the
Ponton,
front of the
front.
driveway,
Front of the, yeah.
front of the way.
That's how I would,
Yeah,
Yeah,
front of the way,
from the
just so
front
that
of
it's
the
not.
way.
Be my
'cause you-
question.
at any
Define
point,
front
you-
of the way. I don't know what you're talking about.
like, he's thinking,
I'm having her bring it up on the map. You show,
Here.
tell me what you're talking about.
Here,
All the way down the bottom.
Tell me what you're talking.
you can't see it from the bottom, roll it right there.
Correct, right there.
Right there, across there.
That's
If
the
you can't
beginning
see
of
it
the
from
private
there,
way.
I'm just going to respectfully request that the rules be applied to all of the public here of weighing in once the hearing's been closed.
I'm asking Tom.
I was talking from, I'll stand up and show you guys. So we can get clarification. So your trucks are here, right?
Well, if you go up, you see where 24 is?
No, I'm sorry, okay, so,
Okay.
guys, this truck's basically here.
Yeah.
So from here to here is, would be the vantage point, is
Yes.
what I'm saying. Not from here, not from here, not from here. This would be the vantage point.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
That's, yeah.
Okay.
Ponton and Plimpton.
So however we can word that so that that's the vantage point, then,
I would word it at the intersection of Plimpton and Ponton.
Ponton,
okay.
just sort of board those two as licenses are coming up for renewal now. They're being reviewed by all departments. And in cases like this, we would be doing site visits to make sure everybody's complying with any conditions that they might have. If they're not, then the license wouldn't be renewed.
Okay, so does the board have any other questions, comments, anything they want to add, change? Okay, so with that, do I have a motion? Can we do that now?
Can Jean say the motion?
Can I say it again? Is that what you
Yeah,
want?
because
Tom
she's
have
got
it
all
done?
the information.
I thought Tom wrote it
Oh,
down too.
Tom can, but I just,
Uphold the decision of the building inspector that the operation of a professional office and contracting business is a lawful accessory use, subject to the following limitations. No more than 2 employees and the property owners may be engaged in business operations, including the office, as well as loading and unloading of supplies and business materials. Only registered vehicles and trailers may be allowed on the premises at any time. No outside, parentheses, loose storage shall be visible from the intersection of Plimpton and Ponton Streets. No storage containers shall be allowed on the premises without first securing appropriate permits. Did I get everything?
Everything? Okay. Do I have a motion for that? So moved.
Yeah, that was.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, folks.
Jonathan, did you say something?
Was that unanimous that vote?
Unanimous. Yeah.
Unanimous, yes.
Unanimous, yes.
Okay, that should be on the record. You need to know, you need to say in the decision how each member voted.
Okay, good, okay. All right. All right, it was unanimous. We'll do a roll call, just to make sure.
Steve.
You could, you don't have to, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, as long as your decision says which members participated in the hearing, then if you say the vote is unanimous 7-0, that will do it.
Okay.
Yep,
All right.
we'll do that.
It is. Thank you, Jonathan.
any other votes on this? That was it.
That's.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Do we need a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Okay, that's,
Okay,
oh, wait.
that's everything. So, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay.